What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Eric Wilson, today joined by my co-host, Colin Alcabes. Today, we're here to talk about two New York Rangers forwards who I feel like we haven't talked about enough this season. Cuylle and Kakko. They're both having career seasons so far, both on pace to hit career high in points. They're also an elite defensive unit. Originally, we wanted to make this a whole discussion about the third line, but Philip Hedl is still out, so we're going to table that for a little bit. But we did talk about Hedl last episode, so if you want to hear our thoughts on him, you can check that one out. But like I said today, Cuylle, Kakko, we're going to get into it. But before we do, make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss notification. Leave your thoughts on these two amazing forwards down in the comment section below. And lastly, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers. But let's get into it. Colin, how are you doing today? And I'll let you pick which of these two guys you want to talk about first.
I'm doing good. Anytime you can talk about an exciting young player on this team, a player with a lot of potential, it's always a great day. I know that a lot of people haven't been too fond of Kakko, so I feel like we'll start with him. So far through the season, 17 games played. He's got 3 goals, 8 assists for 11 points, just under that point per game pace. But he has a sparkling plus 12, which is beautiful to see from the young 23-year-old. People forget that he's only 23 just because he's been playing in the league since he was 18. So, maybe he's finally turned that corner. He seems like he's starting to figure it out. Really, really strong game against Vancouver the other night with a goal and an assist. And again, that third line still has not been out there for any goals against. Just continuing, I know the last time we spoke, they had outscored opponents 11-0. But now I think it's 13 because Cuylle got one and Kakko got one last game too. He just continues to impress and kind of prove everybody wrong. I know it's very, very early in the season, only 17 games in, got a whole long way to go. But, if he can continue to play, I could see him maybe playing his way into another bridge deal or maybe, not as long of an extension or as lucrative as what Lafreniere got, but maybe something a little bit less, but a little bit longer term than the 1 and 2 year deals that we're used to seeing from him.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the defensive stat goes, it's when Kakko and Cuylle are on the ice together. It doesn't matter who their center is, whether it's Hedl or Brodzinski. The goals are 14-0 in favor of the Rangers, which is pretty impressive. Kakko's only a plus 12 because I guess he was on the ice for a couple goals against when Cuylle was not on the ice. But when the two of them are together, they have not allowed a single goal and have been there for 14 total. So that alone is extremely impressive. But as far as offense goes, Kakko is on pace for a career year. Think back 2 seasons ago, Kakko hit a career high 40 points. Pretty impressive. Looked like he was on the verge of a breakout, really starting to get his game going. Then last season happens where he's injured for quite a bit, only plays in roughly 60 games. I think he put up 19 points through 61 games. So goes back down. But now, if Kakko were to play the full 82-game season this year, which he has not missed a game yet, he's played in all 17, he is on pace for 53 points. Now, most of those are assists from the projection. This projection also comes from elite prospects. Got to give credit where credit's due for them. Most of them were assists. I forget how it was only 9 or goals or something. And the number 9 was in it. Was it 9, 19? I don't remember. But it was mostly assists out of those 53 total projected points if he were to keep up at this pace that he's been on, which would be another career high. So it's good to see Kakko's numbers going up. Like I said, obviously last year is a little bit of a special situation where he was injured for quite a bit and didn't really receive the playing time I think he deserved. I think this third line that he's on so far has been the perfect fit for him and Cuylle in their second season now together, where they've been fully playing together the whole time. And Kakko's not being thrown around from the first to the second to the third to a scratch to injured. Kakko has a little bit of stability now, and I think that's really paying off for him. And he looks really good. I've always been a big Kakko supporter. I know the viewers of this channel sometimes flip back and forth. We have our diehard Kakko fans. We also have our diehard Kakko haters. I'm a fan. I've always loved Kakko, and I will defend him until the day that he's no longer a New York Ranger. But I hope that day is far off in the future. I remember last season, the whole argument was, sure, he's good defensively, but he doesn't produce points. Well, here are the points. So, and he's doing even better defensively. So big ups on Kakko. Let's transition into Cuylle. He's in his second year as a New York Ranger, and my goodness, is he demolishing the the points and all the stats that he hit in his first season. Last year, he played in 81 games, so just one game shy of that full season. Only scored 21 points throughout what was practically a full season. And, we were like, he was still good. What could we ask for him if he's in the bottom six, right? He's not going to be a top point scorer. But look at him now. He's like 5th overall in the Rangers in points this season. And through 17 games, he's already hit 14 points. He's hit 2/3 of his point total last season in about a quarter of the amount of games. Big math numbers coming out. I hope they're accurate. I'm no mathematician, but he's going to hit a new career high. Similarly to Kakko, I looked at his projections from Elite Prospects. If he plays a full 82-game season, he is on pace for 68 points, which would absolutely shatter what he did last year. So just going from a decent bottom 6 player in his rookie season to one of the best forwards on the team, again, a plus 14, good offensively, good defensively in 1 year. It's amazing. And I love it. And I feel like people are talking about it. I don't want to say they're like quietly having these good seasons, but they still feel like they're not being talked about enough. But that's me on Cuylle.
I would say he definitely is, taking a big step this year. Only 22 years old, 6'3", 212. He's massive. He's a big boy. And that's kind of what he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be like a grinder in that bottom 6 role. And last year, everybody was pleased with what he did. He was like top 5 in the league in hits, maybe top 3. Don't quote me on that. But he had a lot of hits. He's not afraid to throw the body around. So to chip in 21 points, everybody was pleased with that. I wasn't expecting a big jump. I welcome one, though. 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points, 17 games, you previously mentioned. Almost all of them coming at even strength, which is a big thing with this Rangers team. To get points at even strength is huge. My only concern is his shooting percentage is a little high. He's shooting at a 19.4% clip. So we should expect that to come down a little bit. But he is putting himself in positions where it doesn't have to come down. He's scoring in high percentage scoring chances on breakaways and things like that. And that's kind of what happens when you're in those nitty-gritty areas, battling in front and things like that. And he also has that speed where, if you put yourself in high quality scoring chances, and your percentage could stay high. So, I'm not taking anything away from him. He's definitely been in the right spot at the right time. And, you got to applaud him for that. But, there's a lot of season left. Obviously, I'm hoping that these two can keep this pace up there. It's great to get these contributions from the third line. And especially, like I said, 2 players aged 22 and 23, and a team that's going to see a shakeup down the line due to cap complications and things like that. But as you mentioned before, for him to score 2/3 of his points in a fraction of the time is just absolutely absurd. And obviously you hope that he can keep this going.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's all about the pacing, keeping it up. Like, you're right. Cooley's shooting percentage might be a bit high, but I don't know. Like, he scored a breakaway goal against Seattle. It's like you said it perfectly. The high scoring chances are why he's scoring a lot of goals. So it's just, can this line, including Kakko, keep up the consistency? Because I feel like Kakko, especially, we've gotten a larger sample size where he kind of looks like what Kreider looked like in his younger years, where he'll go on these hot stretches and he's scoring a large amount of points, and then for 15 games he'll disappear and then he'll come back. So I think it's maintaining the momentum, and I think getting Filip Chytil back is going to be a massive part of that. Nothing against Johnny Brodzinski. I like Brodzinski. I've recently learned that there's a lot of people that don't like Brodzinski. Just like reading comments on our socials and the channel. But I've liked Brodzinski. I think he's fine and he plays well. But getting Filip Chytil back, to me, is going to be the biggest thing. We're actually recording this early enough that I can upload it today. So tonight's game against Calgary, I know Filip Chytil was ruled out from. He is joining the team like we talked about last episode, but he's not going to play today. My opinion, good idea. Better keep it safe than sorry. Throw him in the next game, because Brodzinski's fine. Getting Filip Chytil back, keeping up that momentum, that's going to keep this third line one of the best in pretty much all of hockey, I think. 5v5, insane. Defense, insane. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of good things from both of these players. So that about wraps up our discussion of Will Cuylle and Kakko, the breakout seasons that they appear to be having. Hopefully they can keep it up, like we said. But we'll be following them a lot longer for the rest of the season. So while we wait for the season to progress, if you want to see more, make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss notification. Leave your thoughts down in that comment section below. And be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers. Hopefully we pick up a win tonight in Calgary, keep that road win streak alive. I think we're going for 4, 5 straight. We're going for 4, I think.
On the road or in general?
In general, I think it's our 4th. I think we're going for our 4th in a row.
I can tell you quick. Actually, no, I can't because the NHL website is not set up properly.
The NHL website is terrible, and I don't like it. They used to be good. We're just going to assume it's 4, and then someone will
go for the 4th.
Okay, yeah, we'll go for 4, and then we'll strive for 5, like the Islanders fans like to say, even though it never happened. But once again, thank you all for watching. Have a good one, and let's go Rangers.